Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. There has been a lot of discussion up prior to and now after the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs had their conversation, their hearing about fraud at the VA. And there's been conversations about should there be new, guardrails put into place? What sort of things are we looking at? Should we change more of the rating schedules? They talked about means testing, all of that. And with that, the question now comes, are we safe? Are we safe? Are we grandfathered? And I see in the comments the word grandfathered and don't worry about it and all that stuff. Sure. All of us today already rated, probably going to be fine. Probably nothing's going to happen. Even if they change how they do things, we would in a way be grandfathered. However, there is no grandfather clause. There's nothing called that. There is no grandfather word in law for veterans benefits. Now, there is some law out there that absolutely does protect us. And again, just like everything else with the VA, it's very nuanced and there's different things for different people. And there's little cracks and little doorways that open up and allow the VA to not follow it if they didn't want to. But for the most part, it's pretty clear that we would all be safe. So there's no worries there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read through this law and a couple of the different authorities around it to share that with you because it is crazy times. Now, look, this kind of goes along with my whole methodology here. Even if it doesn't impact me personally, still going to share it because it is going to impact our brothers or sisters coming down the line. And that is equally important to me. So even if something doesn't impact us directly, we still should be looking out for those that come behind us. I think that all of those before us really put down a lot of work to get us where we are, and it's up to us to protect it and preserve it, is the way that I look at it when it comes to these benefits. All right, so let's jump into it here. Hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Every thumbs up, every minute watched truly does help the channel. The two asks are really, look, hit the thumbs up, let the video run. That alone pushes this out to others, which then increases the viewership and increases the vibrato, if you will, when it comes to sharing this information. All right. So in the Code of Federal Regulations, under Title 38, we have 3.951, and it's preservation of disability ratings. Okay, this is really speaking to anybody who's already rated, right? Now, this protects what you have, not what you might file for later if there's changes, right? So if there's changes, you have to deal with the changes. If you've never filed for anything, I suggest you file now. The sooner the better. All right. So anyway, under preservation of disability ratings, a readjustment to the schedule for rating disabilities. Keep in mind, this is happening. It's been happening over the last almost 10 years, changing the rating schedules. We have 4 more changes coming. Auditory, respiratory, mental health, and neurological. Those are the specific rating schedules. Sometimes you'll hear people say, sleep apnea. Well, sleep apnea falls in respiratory. So it's the respiratory rating schedule. It's the entire schedule is being revamped and replaced. It's highly impacting sleep apnea. All right, so a readjustment, 4 of them coming, a readjustment to the schedule for rating disabilities shall not be grounds for reduction of a disability rating in effect on the date of the readjustment, unless medical evidence establishes that the disability to be evaluated has actually improved. Okay, that's important. So, a couple different things. Your current rating must be in effect when the rating schedule change takes place. Okay, that's where the protection lies. It's in effect on that date. The other piece that's important in this is how it says that the condition must actually be improved. Now, typically what we're thinking about here, that sounds scary, but the reality is what they're saying is even if, let's use sleep apnea for the example. Let's say that you're currently rated for sleep apnea at 50% because you're prescribed a CPAP. Okay, you're 50% rated. Let's say they change the rating schedule. And now on the new rating schedule, even though you're rated with a CPAP, you're prescribed CPAP, all of a sudden your rating drops to a 0%, we'll say. Just because it would be a 0% on the new rating schedule doesn't mean that they will reduce you. You would actually have to magically heal and, I don't need a CPAP anymore. Now you could potentially be reduced. Okay. So there's also protection against that. And that is really what's called the 20-year rule. And that's actually listed here under Part B of Preservation of Disability Ratings. Okay. Preservation of Disability Ratings. Part B states this: a disability which has been continuously rated at or above evaluation of disability for 20 or more years for compensation purposes under laws administered by the Department of Veterans Affairs will not be reduced to less than such evaluation except upon a showing that such rating was based on fraud. So once you hit 20 years, the VA cannot reduce you less than whatever the amount you've been rated for that 20 years. Okay. Now, where it gets a little bit weird is, let's just say, for example, you were rated at 10% for migraines for 10 years. Then you got an increase to 30, and that 30% rating has been in place for 10 years. Combined, you have 20 years. The protection is for that 10% rating. You will never be reduced lower than that 10%. Once you reach 20 years of 30% rating, then that 30% rating is now protected. So, I'm going to throw out there real quick. If you have not filed a claim for disability compensation, if you've missed something, if you're not at 100%, reach out to us. Evidence-based VA claims, we're happy to help. And we have a fantastic team. We'll do a free consultation for you, and we guarantee that you will get an increase in your ratings somewhere. So with that, please reach out to us. Information's in the description and in the comments. All right, so moving back on to Part B here of the 20-year rule, it also says, likewise, a rating of permanent and total disability for pension purposes, which has been in force for 20 or more years, will not be reduced except upon showing that the rating was based on fraud. The 20-year period will be computed from the effective date of the evaluation to the effective date of reduction of evaluation. All right, so let's look at a couple of the different authorities here. So if I go into, we are now looking at the USC, the United States code here, 1155. All right, and this 1155 says authority for schedule for rating disabilities, and this one's kind of long. I'll try to just get through it. The Secretary shall adopt and apply a schedule of ratings for reductions in earning capacity from specific injuries or combination of injuries. The rating shall be based as far as practicable upon the average impairments of earning capacity resulting from such injuries in civil occupations. The schedule shall be constructed so as to provide 10 grades of disability and no more, upon which payments of compensation shall be based, namely 10, 20, 30, 40, up to 100%. The Secretary shall, from time to time, readjust this schedule of ratings in accordance with experience. That's happening now, okay? That is happening now. We just recently had the digestive system rating schedule revamped. That was about, a year and a half ago. And now we got these other 4 that are coming. So if you have tinnitus and you didn't get it rated and you're not at 100%, maybe consider that. If you did not file for sleep apnea and you have sleep apnea as either a service connectable condition or a secondary condition, you should consider that. Again, reach out to us. All right. It says here, however, so they may adjust these rating schedules, right? However, in no event, shall such a readjustment in the rating schedule cause a veteran's disability rating in effect on the effective date of the readjustment to be reduced unless an improvement in the veteran's disability is shown to have occurred. Okay, so we already talked about that. Let's go into this other one here and share this one as well. This is code, which code is this? This is under 110. And this says a rating of total disability or permanent total disability. And again, this is going to refer to, the 20-year rule and permanent and total type stuff. So a rating of total disability or permanent total disability which has been made for compensation, pension, or insurance purposes under laws administered by the Secretary and which have been continuously in force for 20 or more years shall not be reduced therefore or thereafter, except upon showing that such rating was based on fraud. A disability which has been continuously rated at or above evaluation for 20 or more years for compensation purposes under laws administered by the Secretary shall not thereafter be rated at less than such evaluation, except upon a showing that such rating was based on fraud. The mentioned period shall be computed from the date determined by the Secretary as the date on which the status commenced for rating purposes. So it doesn't say, a veteran's grandfathered in. Okay, it doesn't say that, but that is essentially what it means. It means that you are on both of these different things, right? So if you're already rated for something, they're not going to just reduce you. If they change the rating schedules, they're not going to just reduce you. Not allowed to simply reduce based on a rating schedule change. And once you hit the 20-year mark, you're even more protected. All right, so with that, thanks for watching. I appreciate you very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.